What does it mean to be a champion? Well, you win the dang championship. That's how. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of World Race Series Champions, a little series I'll be compiling while the World Race Series is in its off season. In truth, there is more to a champion, and I want to hit on this in a future video discussing what is the greatest World Race Series driver of all time and why. Most wins, most top 10s, most races run, whatever it is, but that's a topic for another day. In the end, it's really whatever Google's random number generator comes up with when assigning qualifying positions and during the stop motion stage. Well, that's comparable to a script, basically a movie. Either way, I'm out here to have a little fun with my race series, so we'll talk about each championship battle thus far by year and its significance, and why that person was crowned champion that specific year. So grab your popcorn, grab your kids, grab your wife, and hunker down for this retelling of the very first World Race Series Championship battle, World Race Series 2014. So this story all begins with the very first race, World Race Series 2.0. This event took place in Decatur, Georgia. It was named 2.0 because within WRS lore, if you could call it that, World Race Series 1 is Hot Wheels Highway 35 World Race. And that was one of my favorite childhood movies that influenced the series. Everything from the teams, the large driver rosters, 80 drivers in World Race Series 2015, and the actual use of Hot Wheels cars in the first and second series were also influenced by Hot Wheels Highway 35 World Race. So World Race Series 2014 follows the Aqua Turbo. Alright, I was in middle school, alright, but the Aqua Turbo team, one of many teams competing on their pursuit of the championship. Now there's a lot more to talk about concerning the championship battle of World Race Series 2014 than just simply the Aqua Turbo, but as you can see, this is the process of elimination, this entire huge tree. There were many more teams and many more races that were in World Race Series 2014 that aren't seen on screen. The only screen races are the ones for the Aqua Turbo because it was basically a scripted movie, kind of like the main characters were the Aqua Turbo. So anyways, it follows the Aqua Turbo and the three races that the Aqua Turbo competed in. Long story short, Taylor Kornhoff managed to win every race the Aqua Turbo competed in. The reason for that is that I was meant to be a driver with more tenacity and commitment than any other driver that year, meaning I'd always be in the right spot at the right time. And if you look closely, I'm almost never leading a race until the very end, avoiding all the wrecks and carnage, because pretty much every race of World Race Series 2014, and any of my stop motion races for that matter, all the cars, almost all of them wreck. And the reason for that is, look, some of the races start with 80 drivers, and I'm not gonna continue doing a stop motion race with 80 cars for the entirety of it. That's absolute hell, moving those all around the track, basically whatever house I decided to film it on, and that wouldn't work. So I eliminated cars to say 80 cars participated in the race, but nowhere near that amount finished. The end of World Race Series 2.0 saw me in a last-minute battle with my sister Claire Kornhoff, a Jungle Vines team driver, where she actually lost the race due to bus traffic in the area. Claire was not the leader of the Jungle Vines team, but she is the best driver on the team by far, and the one that yielded the most success in future series, with 2 wins under her belt as of 2020. Who knows how things would have changed if she won that first World Race Series race. Perhaps we could be talking about the Jungle Vines today, but we're talking about the Aqua Turbo instead. And perhaps Claire Kornhoff would have 7 wins under her belt instead of me. Next up on the schedule is World Race Series Championship, which is actually quite a confusing title as it was the second leg in the series, not the finale. Here we saw Taylor Kornhoff and the Aqua Turbo team battle with other iconic teams like the Sand Surfers, led by Simeon Plummer, and the Reapers, led by Gavin Vinn, which are all good drivers in their own right. And this race was actually the only one seen on screen within World Race Series 2014, where more than one driver made it to the finish line, where I'm not the only one who makes it to the finish line. By the end of the race, as the drivers emerged from the tunnel, it looked as if the Hornets team would come away with the win until they all piled up in a huge crash, eliminating every single Hornet driver. In the end, I of course end up winning it, with Gavin Vinn coming in at a close second place finish. Winning this race locked the Aqua Turbo into the finale race, which would be raced against the only other team that won both prior races, 2.0 and Championship, though we don't get to see them on screen. This is the Ironhides, led by Stephanie Dumas. There were other legendary drivers here as well, including Julio Sanchez being one of them, becoming a consistent World Race Series driver for years to come. The finale would take place in Kennesaw, Georgia. This final race is the true World Race Series 2014 Championship battle. If anything, this is it. It happened as many predicted it, with a last-second battle between the leader of the Ironhides and the best Aqua Turbo driver. That's Taylor Kornhoff, and of course, once again, the leader is Stephanie Dumas. With the Aqua Turbo's leader, Risa Kalaki, eliminated early on, and many more drivers crashing out as the race began, the stage was set. On the last straightaway, Stephanie Dumas pulled right ahead of Taylor, and in a split-second decision, he spun her out and came home with the win. Now, this is a dirty move, no doubt, and it is often overlooked in the World Race Series record books. In fact, on the World Race Series wiki, you can't find a single thing about Taylor spinning out, just simply winning. But we will mention it here. Many believe Stephanie should have come home with the win, but I insist it was not intentional, as, well, Taylor Kornhoff is me, or it merely represents me in the series. Either way, it's a big deal, as this secured the Aqua Turbo the title of best racing team in the world for one whole year, until World Race Series 2015, of course, and a whole $1 billion in prize money split between the 4 drivers of the Aqua Turbo. Actually, 5 drivers, counting Minda Dumas, who raced for the first race. Additionally, Taylor Kornhoff, Matthew Kornhoff, Risa Kalaki, and all the others who drove on the Aqua Turbo team would be cemented in World Race Series history for playing a part in winning the first World Race Series ever. And just like that, it was over. Of course, the Wisconsin Special 2014 and World Race Extreme would take place later in the year, but they did not have any impact on the season standings, of course. Though each race did count for wins, with Claire and Taylor Kornhoff both getting an additional win after they tied in World Race Series Extreme. Looking back on the World Race Series 2014, I definitely lean the results in my favor, but one must remember that I never really planned to make it anything more. I didn't plan to make a World Race Series 2015, 2016, anything. This was supposed to be a one-time thing that I just shared with my family, but instead it turned into a tradition and a hobby of mine. So it still counts because it is World Race Series media. It still has the name World Race Series. But I was in middle school at the time and finding use for my aging Matchbox cars, and well, at least that's my excuse anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of World Race Series Champions, and I hope to see you next time on episode 2, where I tell the tale of the World Race Series 2015 and introduce the championship battle between Nimsy Correa, Claire Kornhoff, and Taylor Kornhoff, and a scandal that shocked the entire World Race Series world. Hope to see you there.